Next up, David Charles Allen, Village Properties Realtor and host of The Hop. That's Home Ownership Podcast. Hi, David.
Welcome to The Hop. This is David Charles Allen, Realtor at Village Properties in Santa Barbara, California, with my good friend and co-host, Patty Teal. I'm doing great today, Patty. How are you doing?
I'm doing well as well, David. Thank you for asking.
Amazing to hear. Is humidity still have you a little frazzled?
Maybe I'm getting used to it. We had a little bit of a tropical storm, but it didn't turn into anything too exciting or dramatic. I think there's another one coming in a few days, so we shall see.
There you go. In the weather here, we have a really crazy mix for here, at least. We have high 60s all the way to the low 80s. So could be cloudy some days and then sunny some days. So really getting a good mix right now.
That's nice. That's nice. It sounds like it's been nice and cool, too, from what I've heard from some of my friends.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I think looking ahead a couple weeks out, it's going to start getting a little warmer. For some reason, I feel like September, the first week of September is usually the hottest week for us. I always used to remember it because I'm going back to school. It'd be so hot, like the day you go back to that.
I know, the poor kids, it always seems like they wait for the weather to turn hot and then It's back to school time. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then in terms of surf, there's been some fun little secret swells going on. And if you know where to go, there's some fun waves out there for sure.
Oh, I love that. Secret swells. That could be a whole little episode. Secret swells.
Well, yeah, I think the reason is so many people have gotten used to just checking one website called Surfline, and they give out reports every day on what the surf's going to be like. And if Surfline doesn't say there's surf, a lot of people don't go out and surf. So it's nice if you go kind of the old fashioned way and look at the buoys and kind of make your own assessment about where might be the best way. You'll go out there and Surfline will say it's flat and it'll be chest high and no one out. So days.
That sounds like fun.
Yes, definitely. And in terms of real estate, interest rates are performing similar to last week, 2.875 for conforming 30-year fixed and 2.75 for non-conforming jumbo 30-year.
So has it changed at all, David, or just very slightly?
They're going up and down. I think that's an eighth of a percentage, kind of varying throughout the week. We haven't seen it go over 3% in some time. So staying really low, definitely a bonus for people still out there looking for a buy home.
Oh, that's great. And I know last week you mentioned that there was a little more inventory than there had been in the past.
Yeah, so we'll jump into the stats this week. Last week, too, it's 56 new listings, 8 price changes, 57 closed, 36 went pending, 1 expired, and 12 coming soon. So again, we're seeing more listings come on than go pending. As it is more inventory, it's still not a lot of inventory. We're seeing only 20 extra homes stay on the market. We're still around 200 to 400 homes of supply. And I mean, you're used to seeing 600, 800 plus. So it's still at a very low inventory.
So it is all relative. And yet there is hope for people that there are a few more listings than there have been in the past.
Yeah, I think over this last year, buyers just really got burnt out. The process was so difficult, so time consuming. The emotions were high. You get so invested in a house and then you wouldn't get it. And it takes a lot out of people. And sometimes it's just easiest to take a step back and kind of let things flow how they're supposed to.
So if someone is beginning their search for a house or they're considering selling their house, how might they get a hold of you, David?
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311, or they can email me at david@davidcharlesallen.com. So yeah, it's still a really great time to sell right now. We're still seeing a lot of activity, especially if it's desirable areas or just locations or in general, just something that's really done and well kept. People are really looking for something they can move right into.
Right. And I noticed when you gave your stats, you said only one house actually had the listing expire. So that's not very many. So for the most part, if you put your house up for sale and it's anywhere near a fair price, it's probably going to sell.
Yes, that's correct. And a fair price now is way higher than what you'd expect last year. We're seeing homes almost double in value that were purchased 3 years ago or so. They've almost doubled in value. So it's pretty wild to see.
Yeah, I guess the only catch 22 with it is then you have to go move somewhere else. And if you're buying, you still have to pay more.
Yeah, I think exactly. You're still going to pay more, but depending where you move, your money goes a lot further too. So
That's
if you
true.
move to Arizona or something and there was a $300,000 house before, and now it's 600,000. And that's a lot different from a $600,000 house here, and now it's 1.2. Even though the
Yes.
prices may have doubled, your money goes a lot further in other places.
Right. And, I moved to Florida from Arizona, and a realtor told me it's California that's driving our market. So it was people that were selling their houses and coming out there. And a lot of people, several that I spoke to, they purchased their home sight unseen. That being said, of course, they looked at it on the internet, but they never actually physically saw it because houses are selling very quickly there too, and people have to move fast.
Wild to see. It's like not taking the usual step. More power to them, and I'm sure it's going to work out from a lot of them, but you just never know how that's going to turn out in the next year or so. If people really enjoy where they are and moving, or they're going to move back, it's very interesting to see.
Yes, it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out for people. They probably don't know themselves how it will play out because you really don't know how you're going to feel in an area until you live there.
Sometimes you just got to go with your gut and live in the present. And if it turns out you don't like where you're at, you make a decision then.
Right. Think of life as an adventure. That's for sure.
Exactly. Keep living life as an adventure.
So, would you like my update for our Pooches at Home segment, David?
Yes, I'd love to.
I was going to babysit my daughter's puppy, golden retriever, who's a puppy, but he's very big. He's 9 months old, and I don't know how much he weighs, but he can put his paws up on countertops. And when he jumps up to you, his feet go up to your shoulder. So he's rather large. And he came over to my house, and my little guy, Ollie, was very intimidated and growling at him. He just did not like it at all. So my daughter thought he was a very vicious dog. And so she found another babysitter because they have taken a trip. They're now in Italy. But the dog sitter that she found, all my bad antenna went up because she went over to this professional dog sitter's house. It supposedly had a bunch of dogs there, but they didn't hear any sounds of dogs. And when she asked about it, the woman said the dogs were subdued. They had a shed in the back where they supposedly kept some of the dogs and had air conditioning, but that worried me too. And then when she left, a child had been in the car for the hour that she'd been meeting with my daughter. And although I really didn't want to volunteer to that degree, my oldest daughter said, I'll watch your dogs and you can go take care of Riley, the golden retriever. He lives about 40 minutes away from me. So I'm now babysitting Riley, but Ollie was missing me so much that I brought him over here. She doesn't know this yet. I hope she doesn't listen to the show.
Oh my gosh.
But the first day I was up basically all night refereeing because Ollie's growling at the big guy and I don't want the big guy to get mad. So far, he's been very good natured for a puppy, but he's just so darn big. But by day 2, David, they have really settled in. Ollie still will give him a growl or two here or there, but I think they're going to end up being friends. So I'm very excited. I kind of feel like the dog whisperer.
That's how it goes usually too. It's good you brought Ollie over to his space too, so he's not as protective over his own house, it feels like.
Exactly. As well. And then the next phase will be to go to my house after I feel they're more comfortable, maybe by next Monday, because she's going to be gone a month and I really do want to be back in my own space. So we shall. It's kind of hard to go back and forth. So we shall see. But I was a little discouraged the first day, but now by day 2, I'm feeling like, if not best friends where they run and play together because Riley is rather large, at least to be in the same space and feel comfortable with each other. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, that's happened a lot with my girlfriend's dog as well. She has a German Shepherd, so Bailey, they liked her at first, but they've gotten to be really good friends. But Bailey still growls at her when the German Shepherd doesn't have a spatial awareness to know where she is and tries to step on her.
Oh, that's interesting that you've been through this. So how long would you say it took for them to be comfortable together?
It kind of just happens like overnight. Like you said, on day 2, everything's changed. A new kitten too. We introduced the kitten to Bailey and Bailey hated it the first day and was like super pissed off. And then by day 2, she was playing with the kitten. It was just like incredible.
Wow. Well, that gives me hope. I'm very encouraged that just on day 2, there's been such a big change because Ollie wouldn't even come out of the bedroom. And now he's barking on cue, as dogs do. But they're doing much, much better. And I think it'll be a really nice surprise when my daughter does come back to see that they can get along.
Yeah, I think it's all about how like the energy you're putting off as well. And I feel like you're just very calm and letting it happen and not forcing too many things. So the dogs are kind of feeling that and just being more chill with each other.
Exactly. And maybe Ollie knew what he was doing, give him a few little warnings here and there so that the puppy kind of backed off and didn't jump on him too. I said, maybe you played it right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they have to know better and then they'll figure it out like, oh, I don't want to do that. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you for your advice. It's nice to know that you've gone through this and it worked out.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, David, thank you so much for the updates on the real estate market in Santa Barbara. And just one last time before we close today, if you'd give your information on how people could reach you.
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311. Or if you want to send me an email, david@davidcharlesallen.com.
Thank you, David. Have a great week.
All right, Patty, you too. Let's give it a good next week.
Bye.